What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to briefly cover a few names. I did an Instagram poll asking you guys what names you wanted me to go over and chart for you guys. So I only have a few of them here. I'm going to try my best to keep this video under 15 minutes. So I just picked a few of the most requested names. So let's get right into that. Now, the first thing that I like to do is I like to look at market direction. One way to do that is to take SPY, S&P 500, and basically what you want to do is you want to pull that up on a larger time frame, just like I'm doing here. Now, previously, you guys can see that SPY was on a nice uptrend. As you guys can see here, we have this trend line, and for the most part, it's following the trend line along with my 50 EMA. As we approach this level here of $446, we break below my 50 EMA, and we kind of have a gap to the downside. We test this level of 437. And although SPY did try to recover, it looks like we're still staying below that level of 437.40. Therefore, I know that as long as we stay below this critical level that I have charted of 437.40, we could potentially see more downside. Now, this is important because although I may not be trading SPY, this gives me somewhat of market direction. I know that if I'm trading names like Amazon, other names, whatever it may be, that typically move with SPY, they want to be in correlation with one another. So if SPY is pulling back on the day, I more than likely wouldn't be playing calls on Amazon. So with that said, for me, I think that we could potentially continue to see more downside as long as we stay below that level of 437.40 or so. Another thing that I like to pull up, once again, just for a little bit of market direction in tech, is going to be QQQ. Same setup as SPY. It looks like it was holding an uptrend and then falls below. And it's currently holding below 364.44, 364, let's call it. So this once again gives me confirmation that we could see more downside. Now, the difference between QQQ and SPY is that QQQ has a level right at 360. You guys can see here where it has previously shown significant support, meaning that every time it has approached 360, it tends to make a nice recovery. Not to say that this will happen again. Remember, I am not a financial advisor. I am just sharing my personal thoughts on QQQ. So as you guys can see here, it approaches that level 360, it recovers very well, then approaches that level again, has a strong recovery again, and now we are once again right at that 360 level. Tomorrow on the open, if we do open below 360, I know that potentially this could give us some more downside, potentially even all the way to 355.60 or so. Now, if we open above 360, I know that as it has before, this could recover. So that's definitely going to be a critical level for me on watch tomorrow, especially if you're trading names like AMD, NVIDIA, Amazon, stuff like that. You definitely want to have QQQ up always as you're making those trades. With that said, I'm going to get one of the names that was requested a lot was AMD. And basically my thoughts on AMD, this is a daily chart. Overall, you guys can very easily identify that AMD is just flat, okay? Although it did have a pretty aggressive move to the downside today, it has just been in a range, right? So overall, it's not upward, it's not downward, it's just kind of sideways. Now, there is money to make on range stocks that are trading in a range. However, they are just not my favorite setup. A safer trade for me on AMD would be once we finally clear and hold below this level of 101.40. So for example, if tomorrow we can hold this level below 101.40, I know that this breaks the range that it was previously in, because it's a very easy range to see. I'll kind of highlight it for you guys here. I'll pull it up. So it goes right around from that level. From that level of 101.40 to all the way 106, 107, okay? So with that in mind, if we break below with volume, any trade that you're taking, it always has to be followed by volume for better confirmation that whatever the move is, whether it's bullish or bearish, it has a higher probability that it's going to move with more momentum. So as long as there's volume behind that, we know that potentially it could give us more momentum. Now, if this drops below 104.40, I know that the next level to keep in mind to the downside is going to be at 100. And then from 100, next level to watch is going to be 98.8. Now, with that said, AMD, if you're trading options on this, you don't want to probably play same week expiration, as it is a slower mover compared to other names like Tesla, Amazon, MRNA, and so forth. So if you are looking for maybe a swing on this, I would wait for that level of 101.40 to get washed out before taking a swing for more downside. Now, I really don't feel comfortable playing this on the upside, but if you guys want to day trade this and it opens above 102.45, next level to watch above that, and I'll pull this up for you guys on a smaller time frame, just so it makes a little bit more sense. So tomorrow, if it opens above that level 101.40, next level to watch is going to be 102.50, then potentially to 103, 104 to 104. But I'm a little bit, as long as we wash out this level and we stay below 104.40, I think this could definitely give us more downside. Another thing that I like to look at is also the 50 EMA, especially if you're going to be considering swings. I like when a stock is trading under that EMA for better confirmation. The next stock is Amazon. Also, a lot of you guys requested that one. Kind of the same setup here. As you guys can see, we approached this level of 32.98 on Amazon. And what ends up happening is when it retested that level, we see that level retested, we have a nice pin bar, and ultimately Amazon makes a recovery to right around like 34.25. Now we are right at that level again, to 32.98. So we could, and you know, I don't like the candle setup for a reversal, but just keep in mind that 32.98 has been significant level previously for reversal. Now, if we open below that, I definitely think that we have more potential to see closer to 32.78. But ultimately, if we stay below 32.90, that would break this trend line here that I have. And I know that potentially this could retest that level of 32.45. Now, is that going to happen within a day trade? Probably not. So if you're more so looking for day trade opportunities, what you can look for is levels that were tested throughout the day. The levels that I'm sharing with you guys are more so for swings. So I know that if we open below 32.98 ADUs or so, this could go to as low as 32.45. Now, also another level to keep in mind, 33.30 for an upside. If we open above that level, I have a much critical level right at 33.55. But overall, just keep in mind that Amazon is at a level where it has previously held support and made a nice recovery. And you guys can screenshot these levels and keep them for reference tomorrow. Next name that I'm looking at is MRNA. If you guys look at MRNA, it's on a pretty solid downtrend, right? So also what I wanted to point out is we do have a level of demand, although it's not that nearby. You always want to keep certain levels of demand just so we know that they're there. Anytime you hit a level of demand, that means that that is a price level where market makers like to come in and load up on a stock. So that's important to know because, for example, if I'm shorting this and I'm in this long term and I'm approaching that level of demand, right, about 366 or so, I probably either want to do one of two things. I want to take some off the table, so sell some contracts, or I may want to just take profits, right? Now, we are pretty far off that level currently, but I do think that this is a pretty aggressive downtrend. So if anything, I think it could retest, it could pull back to 391 before we see some more downside, but overall, this is on a pretty strong downtrend. So levels to watch there would be, depending on where we open, 378. Once we get below that level, we know that the next level to watch to the downside is going to be 370.90. And then finally to that level of 366 where it hits demand. Now for an upside play, I don't really feel comfortable unless if you're going to be very quick about it. In this instant, as long as we can get above 391.40 or so, next level to watch there would be 398.20 and then 403. Okay, so levels to keep in mind. Again, always make sure that you guys know the trend of the stock. That way you avoid trading against the trend to have higher probability trades. Lastly, Tesla. Tesla was on a pretty nice channel. It was trading between the channels. So as soon as it would hit the lower trend line, it would make a nice recovery. And it actually did that again very well. A critical level for Tesla is going to be 780. I think that if we continue to stay below that level, so if tomorrow we open below that level, this could definitely see 770. And then if we clear that level, we can see 762. Now for a recovery, I really don't even like this unless we can get back above 780. But two things to keep in mind. Tesla made a very aggressive move to the upside yesterday and the day before. So is this pullback healthy? Probably, but you don't want it to get below 770, 60 or so, because that's more than 50% of this whole move here, meaning that more than likely this is a reversal, not so much a pullback. So that's my thoughts on Tesla. I think that if we continue to stay below 780, this could definitely see 770, 60, potentially 766, and then 762.50. For an upside play, I wouldn't really play this to the upside unless we can clear and hold above with strong volume 780, then to potentially retest 786 and to retest this level here of 797. That's it, guys. Those are the names that were most requested on my IG poll. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, I will be sure to link my IG below so you guys can follow.